Russian officials have issued a nuclear threat to Ukraine in the event that their missile launch sites are attacked. Ukraine were to attack Russian missile launch facilities. A key Putin loyalist has threatened a nuclear retaliation, according to Dmitry Medvedev, who is currently the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council and a former Russian president. Certain commanders in the Ukrainian military were contemplating using long-range missiles supplied by Western countries to target missile launch facilities within Russia. So, what's the deal? It can only mean one thing: they are inviting the consequences outlined in paragraph 19 of Russia's Nuclear Deterrence Policy Fundamentals, Medvedev tweeted on the messaging app Telegram. It should be kept in memory, Medvedev said. The 2020 Russian nuclear doctrine lays forth the circumstances under which the president might contemplate the use of nuclear weapons in paragraph 19. Ukraine did not respond right away to his accusation or threat. At the same time that the UK announced it will deliver £2.5 billion in military aid to Ukraine over the coming year, Rishi Sunak is making an unexpected visit to meet with Volodymyr Zelensky. The new £2.5 billion budget, which is an increase of £200 million over the previous 2 years, will be used to bolster long-range missiles, air defense, artillery ammunition, and maritime security, according to Number 10. The possibility of a nuclear reaction from Moscow was warned by a senior Putin ally on Thursday in the event that the Ukrainian military were to attack Russian missile launch facilities using US and allied weaponry. According to Dmitry Medvedev, who is currently the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council and a former Russian president, certain commanders in the Ukrainian military were contemplating using long-range missiles supplied by Western countries to target missile launch facilities within Russia. Ukraine did not respond immediately to his threat, and he did not identify the commanders or provide any specifics about the purported plot. So, what's the deal? It can only mean one thing: they are inviting the consequences outlined in paragraph 19 of Russia's Nuclear Deterrence Policy Fundamentals, Medvedev tweeted on the messaging app Telegram. It should be kept in memory, Medvedev said. The 2020 Russian nuclear doctrine lays forth the circumstances under which the president might contemplate the use of nuclear weapons in paragraph 19. Regarding the nuclear reaction to a conventional weapon attack, Medvedev cited point G of paragraph 19. The Foreign Affairs Department of Switzerland said that on Sunday, the Swiss resort town of Davos will play home to approximately 120 national security experts from both Ukraine and Switzerland. This meeting is the latest in a series aimed at garnering support for Ukraine's peace proposal, having previously taken place in Copenhagen, Jeddah, and most just in Malta in October. This meeting is the largest of its type and is being held in the lead-up to the World Economic Forum, which starts the following day. In December 2022, President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine produced a 10-point peace plan. Officials had hoped that the conference in Malta would lead to the establishment of a date for a worldwide peace summit in order to establish a coalition of support for this plan, but back then, the co-chairs could only muster a joint statement that referenced the participants' dedication to a fair and durable peace. The war in Gaza is making it tougher for Ukraine to win over international backing for its peace blueprint. In November, a top official from Kyiv told Reuters that a meeting to begin executing the plan might take place in February 2024. Restoring Ukraine's territorial integrity, withdrawing Russian forces, safeguarding energy and food supplies, ensuring nuclear safety, and freeing all detainees are all parts of Zelensky's proposal. Russia, which invaded Ukraine on a full scale in February 2022 and now occupies approximately 20% of the country, is not included in the peace formula discussions. The peace formula has been met with rejection by Russia, which claims its implementation is unachievable. The possibility of a nuclear reaction from Moscow was warned by a senior Putin ally on Thursday in the event that the Ukrainian military were to attack Russian missile launch facilities using US and allied weaponry. Some Ukrainian military commanders were contemplating targeting Russian missile launch facilities with long-range missiles supplied by Western nations, according to Dmitry Medvedev, a former Russian president and current deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council. Ukraine did not respond immediately to his threat, and he did not identify the commanders or provide any specifics about the purported plot. Don't understand. Medvedev expressed his concerns via the Telegram messaging service, stating that the situation might potentially lead to a violation of paragraph 19 of Russia's nuclear deterrence strategy. This needs to be kept in memory. The circumstances under which a Russian president might contemplate employing nuclear weapons are outlined in paragraph 19 of Russia's 2020 nuclear doctrine. These circumstances include, but are not limited to, attacks utilizing nuclear or other WMD, or the employment of conventional weapons against Russia when the very existence of the state is put under threat. Point G of paragraph 19, which addresses the nuclear reaction to a conventional weapon assault, was specifically mentioned by Medvedev. An individual with ties to the Russian oil industry committed suicide after seeking political asylum in the United Kingdom. His assets were blocked due to the conflict in Ukraine. According to the independent, Russian President Vladimir Putin renationalized the oil company Yukos, which Mikhail Anatolyevich Trushin, 61, worked for. Yukos was valued about $40 billion at its peak in the early 2000s. Mikhail Khodorkovsky, the chief executive and a prominent Russian dissident, was jailed in 2004. Trushin and other Yukos executives fled Russia. The parliamentary speaker of Ukraine announced on Thursday that the government will be given more time to work on the much-debated bill that would strengthen mobilization regulations. As the conflict with Russia near its 2-year anniversary, the law would grant Kyiv the authority to mobilize more militia members. Electronic call-ups and stringent penalties for mobilization lawbreakers were among the initial ideas. Speaker Ruslan Stefanchuk announced changes to the measure following a discussion between lawmakers and military chiefs. It was decided to send all the ideas and solutions that were made to the government, Stefanchuk stated on Telegram. Parliament will not be moving forward with this specific draft anytime soon, according to lawmaker Yaroslav Zelezniak. On the 24th of February, 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, many of Ukrainians hurried to join the military in order to protect their motherland. Still, many men are attempting to stay out of harm's way, and the war is almost 2 years old. On Thursday, President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Ukraine will face significant challenges in surviving without the European Union's postponed financial aid package. While on a tour of the Baltic region, Zelensky stopped in Estonia. The full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russia is approaching its second anniversary. On Thursday, the Kremlin alleged that the U.S. was attempting to coerce European nations into supporting what it deemed as an unlawful plan to utilize frozen Russian assets to fund the reconstruction of Ukraine, according to the RIA news agency. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov reportedly responded to a U.S. media article that implied the Biden administration had supported U.S. legislation to enable such a seizure in theory, according to RIA. The Americans are attempting to exert pressure on the Europeans. Peskov reportedly told RIA, "There is a very paradoxical situation here because the main body of our assets is in Europe and not in America." I paraphrased, "If Europe caves to American pressure," he said, "there will be inevitable legal repercussions," according to RIA. Peskov also stated that Moscow was unaware of the development. Peskov made the statement in response to a Wednesday Bloomberg article stating that the administration of U.S. President Joe Biden is in favor of legislation that would enable them to take part of the frozen Russian assets in order to recover funds for Ukraine's reconstruction. A cooperative plan to clear mines floating in the Black Sea as a result of the war in Ukraine was signed on Thursday by Turkey, Romania, and Bulgaria, following months of talks between the NATO allies. In Istanbul, Yasar Güler, the Turkish defense minister, Angel Tilvar, the Romanian defense minister, and Atanas Zaprianov, the Bulgarian deputy defense minister, inked an agreement to establish a trilateral effort to remove the explosives. Floating mines in the Black Sea have become a concern since the war began. At the signing ceremony, Güler announced that in order to address the issue, a task force dedicated to countering mines in the Black Sea will be established. Several commercial ships, including a bulk carrier en route to the river Danube port to load grain in December, have been struck by sea mines since Russia's invasion in February 2022, endangering Ukraine's export lines across the Black Sea. 1 command control ship and 3 mine hunting ships from each nation would be deployed to the project. According to a Turkish Defense Ministry official, according to Güler, the three countries' naval commanders will establish a committee to oversee the operation. He also mentioned that, if the conflict in Ukraine concludes, more Black Sea governments may be invited to join, while Turkey does consider the possible